Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know you already read the caption, so we're gonna talk about it. These are the fundamental things that you need to know before getting into a relationship, or to know while you're in a relationship right now, to make sure you are getting treated the way that you deserve and that this relationship is going to be as successful as possible. So first, we're gonna start talking assuming that you're not in a relationship right now. And we're gonna talk like we're looking for a partner and the things that you need to look out for before you settle for someone. These will really just depend person to person, what their personal expectations are or what their boundaries for being with someone or for what the rest of their life wants to look like. But overall, I'm going to be describing expectations that fall within those of a woman who is confident, independent, secure, but also understands a role of a husband in a relationship and wants there to be a difference. A man to be a leader and a provider and would prefer to tap into her feminine side while her husband or partner could be more masculine. That's just my personal preference, but you know, of course, our relationships out there with whatever dynamics, people will want to be exactly 50-50, but in my rule book, I prefer to be a feminine passenger princess. All right, so I'm gonna get right into it. A lot of these come from just boundaries and expectations that I've set on my own after like just observing the world all my life and maturing and my frontal lobe developing and me realizing how I think I deserve to be treated. But then it also comes from experience of being with boys instead of men and them showing me exactly the red flags that I need to look out for my future and final partner. Okay, the biggest red flag that's going to show you whether a guy is a man or a boy is going to be if he's a mommy's boy. And when I say a mommy's boy, I don't mean a guy that has a wonderful loving relationship with his mom and his mom cherishes him and is always there for them emotionally or physically if he needs it. It's not about that. It's more about a guy that depends on his mother and depends on his mother's opinions, finances, emotional support, mental stability, anything depends on their mother for their own security and sustainability. And then also you can see it from the mother too. If she's constantly cradling her son or constantly sugarcoating everything that he does wrong, unconditionally having his back even when he genuinely is in the wrong. And I'm not talking about unconditional love from a parent. Like, of course you want that, but there are mothers out there that love and want their son so bad that they are completely willing to overlook their biggest flaws to be in denial of the way that they might be treating their partner or girlfriend or wife just because of this constant want and need to be this perfect, loving, feminine figure in her son's life when she literally has a husband. So with that, you need to make sure that you find a man that understands a wife comes before his mother. In a timeline, yes, the mother came first. But you don't pick your mother. You don't pick your siblings. You don't pick your cousins. You don't pick your family. You pick your partner. You go out into the entire world and you look at all of the people and you decide that this is the person, the love of your life, the most compatible you want to spend the rest of your life with. Once you reach a certain age, you're not going to see your parents as much. You're going to move away. They're going to be busy and also they're going to die at some point. It is you and your partner for the rest of your life. Even your kids. That's the next part. Your wife comes before your kids too. You love your kids. You cherish them, of course, unconditionally. But at the end of the day, you chose your wife. Your wife chose you. You don't choose your kids. You don't choose your family. You love them all, of course. You appreciate and take care of all of them, but your wife is the priority. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, you're never gonna find a man like that, I have. They're out there. Trust me, they are out there. If you have not found one of those guys yet, you have to make your boundaries even stronger, and I promise you, they're going to filter through and you're gonna be staring at like this mystical, magical creature of a man that you never even thought existed, but he's everything that you ever wanted and more, and he's ready to cherish and love you. Okay, this next opinion, and honestly, it can come a lot more from faith rather than your own values. But again, it's up to the person for what they want. This is just my opinion. It is a man's job to lead and provide for a relationship. That doesn't have to mean financially all the time. I mean, it really should for the most part, but if you're not into that or if you're the breadwinner, then yeah, sure, he doesn't need to provide. You got it in the bag, good for you. But it's a man's job to lead a relationship. It doesn't mean that you can't. Trust me, I can lead my own life all by myself. I can lead a million relationships, and I have, and I've built a man like a million different times between these little boys. I know how to lead a relationship, but that's not my job and it's not my role. My role should be to be able to sit back, know what I want, find a man that equally has the same goals as me, respects what I want, but is able to start guiding us towards that journey and down that road to get to where we need to be. That's not to say I'm not going to help him get there, and that's not to say I'm not going to put any effort, but it's up to him to pursue the woman, and it's up to him to guide the journey, whether it's initiating conversation or initiating time to see each other, hang out plans, dates, being able to organize trips, organize events. Even if you can do it all by yourself, yourself, that's not your job. You need to find a man that is going to do all of that. If he cannot plan a date, if he cannot initiate a hangout, this man cannot raise kids. This man cannot take care of kids. Personally, I want to be the primary caregiver to my children. When I get married, I expect to be a stay-at-home mom. So of course, I'm going to be doing most of the raising of the children, but I wouldn't want a mentally or emotionally absent father. Yes, I accept I will be spending more time with them. I will probably be influencing them more, but I wouldn't want a man that's going to come home, get aggravated, be upset, be impatient, and just be ungrateful to the beautiful family that he chose, that he came home to after work. There are early signs to this. Those men don't just develop over time. People don't really change. Before you get all the way down to the part where you're a wife and you have kids, we're looking at the beginning of the relationship. To be a feminine woman is to have masculine energy to reflect off of. A woman is always the reflection of a man. And again, I'm not saying we're incapable of having our own personalities. I'm saying how it should be ideally for a relationship to work the best. When I find myself in a relationship with a guy that doesn't want to take initiative, that doesn't want to compliment me, doesn't want to make me feel pretty, doesn't want me to feel like a trophy, I get masculine. I get really independent. I want to open all my own doors. I want to be in control. Like if we go on a vacation, I want to be able to say, oh, we're doing this, at this time. And of course I can do all of it, but I don't want to. I shouldn't feel like I am this guy's mother. I should not feel like he's on a leash and I'm walking him through the rest of our relationship. And that's not to say I want to be on a leash being walked through a relationship, but I need him to start. I need him to make the first stepping stone, and then I can keep adding to it each part of the way. A masculine man that protects and enables feminine energy embodies strength, stability, and leadership while fostering a space where femininity can thrive. He's got to have strong leadership, meaning he can lead a situation, he can lead a relationship, but not trying to necessarily dominate it and be in full control. He'll make decisions based off of his own wisdom, but also considering the well-being of his partner and everyone else in the equation. He needs to have emotional stability second, whether it's a situation where you are running amok, he's running amok, he needs to be able to be calm, composed, providing reassurance and security, feeling safe and feeling secure when all of emotions are high in the air. Third, he needs to be protective. If I don't feel like I am being protected or that I'm safe around my man, I am going to be my own protector. That's the most masculine that I'm going to get. If I'm with a guy that's weaker than me, like physically, if I'm with a guy that I think I could physically tackle, I'm not going to turn and look up to him for my safety. He would just be like a backup. I want to be able to feel like if I was put in danger in any moment with him, that I would have some extent of reliability on him for my well-being. And when I say protectedness, I don't just mean physically, emotionally, and mentally. When a man creates a safe environment, a feminine woman can flourish and she can open up. He also has to have a provider mentality. He has to be resourceful and dependable, and also he has to be willing to work hard to support his family and in a way that allows a woman to be more in touch with her feminine side. Whether it's providing a safe home to be able to raise kids comfortably, whether it's providing the confidence to walk around and be that trophy wife and strut around in your best cute outfits with your hair done. You don't want to be with a man that makes you think, oh, you shouldn't be spending money to get your eyelashes done. Oh, you shouldn't be spending money to get your nails done. Did you really need that purse? Couldn't you have gotten a cheaper one? And I'm not saying he has to be your sugar daddy, but he has to have this mindset that you need certain aspects of your life in order to maintain the class and the feminine energy that he wants from you. And if he doesn't want a feminine woman and he's making you feel bad for being a girl, get out of here. He can go find a guy. He has to be emotionally available, meaning he has to be understanding and patient with you, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what facade you can put on with how strong and controlled and independent you are. At the end of the day, we're people, and especially women, we're emotional. And there are going to be things that make us feel a certain way that we never thought would affect us, but especially when we're with a partner that we make ourselves most vulnerable with, they're going to be the smallest things that you thought you never even cared about that end up making you cry or ruining your whole day. You have to be with a man that respects the fact that you are a woman, respects the fact that you have emotions and that you are vulnerable to him, and you're going to be more sensitive. Sensitivity, intuition, nurturement, those are all feminine qualities. And if he can't respect those, then he's not ready to be a masculine man. Also, you don't want to end up with a guy that's love bombing you, that's making you think that he has all of these amazing traits that I just talked over, but he has zero self-control and he cannot control to act on impulse. And his true inner lyings come out later and you find out that it was all fake and he was just telling you everything you needed to hear up until the point where you get locked in. Lastly, I'll say a masculine man needs to have spiritual strength as well. Whether that's with or without God, a man should have moral virtue and ambition and a drive and to know what he wants to do with the rest of his life. If he can't plan out his life and his own future, he can't plan out a future with you, obviously. If he can't love and respect himself or the people around him in his environment, how is he going to do that for you? But also, to what I last said about a man, he can't love you if he doesn't love himself, that also applies to you too. Before you decide to settle for a man or even to look out in the world for a man, you need to be happy alone. You need to be satisfied in the comfort of just yourself. You need to be okay with not having someone to talk to every single morning, every single night throughout your day. Sure, you can go replace that time with friends as well, but ultimately you're still depending on another spirit or another person's emotional availability to fulfill you day to day. It's hard and it sounds really tough, especially if you didn't grow up in a loving and welcoming home that taught you these things at a young age, but genuinely, go buy self-help books, go stare at yourself in the mirror for 20 minutes a day, fully naked until you love the way that you look. Go exercise more so that you feel more confident, meditate, do yoga, do whatever you need to do to make yourself comfortable being alone. And not just comfortable, but you have to love yourself. You have to be in love with the way that you are, meaning that you have to know you are the best version of yourself right now. And that's not to say you're not going to get better. You're going to get better every single day. You're going to continue to evolve for the rest of your life, but accept that right now you're doing the best that you can do in every area. When you're happy alone and when you can bring that love and comfort to yourself just by sitting in your room and reading a book or sitting in front of a TV by yourself, then you'll know you're ready for a partner. All right, and now we're going to move on to the idea that you are already with someone and you're trying to make sure that it's the right partner for you and if it's worth sticking to or settling for. He might be lying to you. He might be gaslighting you. He might be love bombing you, or he might just not even know what he wants for himself, but he's just telling you what he thinks is right in the moment. Here are things you can look out for to test if it's really meant to be. When you talk to him, if you're saying stories about your future or hypothetical, and you talk about, oh, I hope one day that we can da 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 da, or one day we'll visit this place, or oh, in our house I want to have this, oh, I want our kids to do this, I want our kids to be involved with this, I want our kids to like this. When you say words like our, see how he reacts. Does he hesitate? Does it make him feel uncomfortable? Or when he starts talking about the same kinds of things on his own, does he say my or does he say our? This will give you the most obvious sign if he even imagines you in his future, if he was confident about you, if he already has you in his commitment. He's a man. He understands it's his responsibility to maintain it, and as long as he's doing the best that he can, and as long as he's going to continue to lead it and pursue you, that it should work, assuming that, you know, he doesn't think you're going to cheat or leave him or something. But if he's not confident in these things, it's because there's something underlying that he's not telling you. The next thing, think about boundaries that you might have made in the very beginning of your relationship. Think about things that you might have told him when you first met, and maybe they've fallen down a little bit. Maybe you've given him a couple excuses, or you've maybe made a little leeway for him because some drama happened or something, or you just learned that he can't handle this, whatever, you made excuses. Bring them back up. Know that time just went on in your relationship, and he should not be the same man that he was at the beginning. If you had to let some boundaries down at the beginning, he's had time to grow and improve, and according to you as well, on the same wavelength and vibration as you. Bring back up those boundaries from the beginning. Now, it's not a question of, oh, can he meet all of them right now? He still might be growing. He still might be evolving, and he still might not be this perfect man yet, but bring back up those boundaries and see how he reacts as well. If he acts disgusted, if he acts bothered, annoyed, if he's talking to you like, oh, why would you ever want that, da 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 da, that's gonna tell you that whatever he told you in the beginning of the relationship to make it work was just what you wanted to hear, and it wasn't truthful. He didn't actually have the same goals or the same values as you. But if you say it and he's agreeing like, yeah, I need to work on that, or yeah, that would be nice, those are green flags. Those are green flags. That means he's not there yet, but he's trying. But on the other hand, if he makes it seem like these are a problem, it was never about respecting you or wanting to commit to you. It was about fooling you and getting what he wants out of the relationship, and he's going to leave eventually. As well as reassessing boundaries, you should reevaluate your goals together. Maybe some things have changed a little bit over time. Maybe they've told you about it throughout the relationship, or maybe they just never thought about it and they don't know. It's never too late to figure out if you are meant for somebody. Even after marriage, you can divorce. That can be frowned upon in cultures or religion. But at the end of the day, put yourself first. You don't want to be stuck with a man that you don't even love and raise children in a household with no true love. Then they're going to grow up and they're not going to know what it looks like for real or what to expect. And they're going to continue the cycle and end up just as miserable. Talk about if you have the same goals. If you guys do, then that's great. Then you guys are on the same track to the rest of your lives. And if you don't, it's not the end of the world. It's fine. You can have different goals. But does he make sure he's providing a safe space and the environment to help help you reach yours? Is he encouraging you to reach your goals, or is he shutting them down and undermining them? This next one is a lot heavier to consider, but it's extremely important. Do you think he benefits more to use you, or do you think he loses more to love you? And that kind of sounds confusing, but what I mean by this is if he sees you as the love of his life, as his other half, as his partner and companion, his soul tie, the benefits that he receives from being with you or using you should be less than the hurt and the void that he would create if he lost you right in this moment. If you left him right now, would he be in shambles? Would he feel like he just lost a half of himself or his world or his future? Or would it be quick for him to pick things back up and go look for someone with the same qualities and traits as you, but is just easily replaceable, like a material item? Does he make you feel unique? Does he make the connection that you guys have together feel unique? Also, has he ever seen you at your worst? If he hasn't, whatever, lucky you. But if he has he seen you at your worst and not judged you for it, not held it against you for it? Did he stick with you through all of it? Did he support you? Did he come back afterwards? Did he wait for you to return to the person that you are after you went through what you went through? When you marry someone, they're going to be your partner for the rest of your life until you die. Let's say you die before your partner, you would hope that they still are committed and loyal to your love by taking care of the things that you own, taking care of your children, just respecting your entity as a whole. They can go move on later or whatever and find a new partner if they want, but they have to have an unconditional respect and love for you on earth or off of earth or in the other world. This next one is a really big thing that made me understand why my relationship with someone was for so long and so stretched out, and why it never truly worked, and why I always felt like I was losing to hang out with him and he was just benefiting from me. Does he make you feel permanent? Does he make you feel like a permanent figure in his life? Does he include you and involve you with the other things in his life he knows are permanent? I was in a relationship with someone that would spend like probably half their week with me. We would see each other very often, maybe every other day, but it was like the second that he was out of sight, the second that I was not physically in front of him, it felt like I didn't exist to him anymore. But when he was in front of me and when we were hanging out, it was just me. He put his phone away. He gave me all this love and affection and attention, and I would feel so heightened. Like my feelings would feel so strong and so heightened. But I knew that anytime that we weren't hanging out face to face, I would just feel so neglected and ignored, and I'd feel like he hated me. Does he introduce you to his family? Does he let you hang out with his family? Does he let you build a relationship with his family members, his best friends, his closest friends since childhood, and that he plans to have for the rest of his life? Does he let you get close to them? Does he talk about your relationship to his friends? Does he talk about your relationship to his family? In a good way, of course, as well. Does he make it a point to gain their respect of you? Does he prioritize your existence and the meaning that you have to his life to let everyone else know that you are going to be with him forever and that he is choosing you out of everyone on this earth? Is he trying to convince them why you should be the love of his life? If the answer is no to all of those things, he probably doesn't actually like you, and he probably doesn't actually want to be with you for the rest of his life, or make you the mother to his children, or come home to you every single day after work. Next, what do your family members and friends say? When we are in love and when we have this soul tie and this emotional connection, we see things through a heart-shaped glasses. That's not to say all of our logic and reasoning is out the window, but overall we have a bias. We have a bias that is going to make us give them more benefit of the doubt, that is going to make us softer, more vulnerable, more emotional, and we can't make the most logical decisions when we are in states of high emotion. If your family members are good people, if your friends are good people, if you make sure that you only go to smart, educated, well-oriented, virtually moraled people, then you should be able to trust their judgment, yeah? What do they say about your relationship? You cannot pick and choose when to give your family and friends credibility. I personally make sure that all of my friends are extremely good people. I'm not friends with people just because they're in a friend group or just because we have common interests. Honestly, most all of my friends don't have any of the same interests as me, but I love them and I cherish them because they are such good people in their hearts, and I can trust them, and I know they would never lie to me. And if they were to ever make me feel a certain way, it was because it was the right thing to do and I needed to be called out. You can't just ignore what they're saying, especially if they know you very well and you know that they care about you and they want the best for you. You have to trust their intuition about your partner. They might not know everything, and that's true, of course. You can always use that excuse that they're not in my shoes, they don't know the entire relationship, how could they truly know? It doesn't take being deeply involved in a relationship with someone to understand if they're just a good or bad person or just not right for you. It doesn't require that. There are celebrities out there that you think are nasty, horrible people that shouldn't even have the ability to put their face on TV and spread their wisdom and spread their entitlement. But are you in a deep relationship with them? No. But you would probably advise someone not to get with them, right? But you don't know them personally. But it doesn't take that. It doesn't take knowing them personally to be able to tell that they're not a good person or that they're somewhere they shouldn't be. The last thing that I'm going to say is, if you're praying to God, if you're asking for signs to tell you that this person is not meant for you, and that if the relationship is meant to be, tell me something, show me something, change his heart, change my heart. If nothing happens, sweetheart, that's a no. If you keep praying to God about something and nothing happens, if you keep praying to God telling you, show me that it's meant to be, show me that this is right, and nothing is happening, that's it. That's God telling you it's not right, it's not meant to be, it's not going to happen. You can't pick and choose when to believe God is giving you a sign. You cannot only choose to believe that God is there when you get good things or when things go your way. When things are not going your way, when you wake up every single day with panda face because you've been crying and you've been depressed and you haven't been eating and your stomach's been nauseous and all you have been doing is arguing every single day with this guy, your mental is going down. Your emotional state is going down. Your physical well-being is going down. You're declining when you should be evolving. That's your sign from God. That's your sign that you're literally going down and He's bringing you down. Acknowledgement is the first step to change, and acceptance is the final stage. You can't move on, you can't be happier if you don't reach acceptance. That's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like and subscribe button. I hope this helps somebody, and I hope you know better when you go out into the world and look for a new partner. Or I hope this confirmed that you are with the love of your life and you're so happy and grateful to get this reassurance, or that you just realize you probably need to break up with them. Either way, you're putting yourself first and you're helping yourself, which is what you should always be doing. Bye guys, thank you so much for watching.